Hi guys, my apologies. On the previous video, I was just recording out of my phone and I didn't have a power source to charge my phone, so I ran out of battery. Anyway, these are my units. These are my units. They're supposed to be working in parallel, but because they're not able to work properly in parallel, I remove all the wiring. I remove all the parallel wiring, and by the way, there's 6,000 watts each unit. So I'm supposed to have 36,000 watts. I'm working with the seller trying to fix this problem because I'm not able to keep these units working 24/7. So what I did is I connected two units, okay, not in parallel, okay. I put, let's say, number 2 here, for example, okay, is working as the power provider. So this inverter is providing the power, and this other inverter here is actually providing power to this inverter here, okay? So you have this one providing power to the load, okay? So these wires here are going to the load. This is the input. This is the output to the load. This is the input to the inverter that is supposed to be coming from the grid or a generator. And what I did is I got the power from the output of this generator, this inverter, and connected it to this one. So this inverter here is acting as the grid, okay, for this inverter, okay. And that's the way I did it to every 2 units. No more parallel right now. And now I'm able to keep the units working 24/7. If I don't need the power, for example, if I'm not cleaning my pool, I just turn off the inverters and they go into charging mode. Okay, and they'll start charging in the morning, and then when I see that I already have 100% of the power in my batteries, then I'll start the inverters and I'll start my pool equipment. Okay, that way at night these inverters are not running. I wish there was a way of restarting this inverters remotely. I might be able to figure out how to do it, but I mean, they gave me a warranty and everything. I don't want to mess around with that. So I'm gonna let the seller fix the problem. That way I can have all the units working at one time as 36,000 watts. So basically 36 kilowatts. And as you can see here, at this unit here, this is the one providing power to the house. And this other unit here is the grid for that inverter for the house. And I'm gonna show you guys in the software how it looks. I mean, it's actually kind of cool because the other inverter is providing the backup power to the actual inverter that is handling the load. Okay, and here's the other one. This one I just called it ETC. Right now, I don't have a load connected to this one. As you can see my cables here. I don't have a load connected to this one, but the 2 inverters right now, they're in charging mode. And I want them in charging mode because I have 12 solar panels connected to each one of the inverters. Because these inverters can handle up to, I believe, 450 volts or 6,000 watts of input from the solar panels. Okay, so right now they're charging. Okay, right now they're charging. So even if the inverter is off, as soon as we start getting sunlight, the inverter will turn on the charging mode. So right now the inverter is off. Okay, the inverters are off on this unit and that unit there, but they're charging. Not because I turn them on. They will turn on automatically with the sunlight. This one here, like I said, stays working 24/7 because this is the grid for the house, and this is the house, and of course it'll stay working 24/7. And I changed the parameters, and they're working together. So it's like these units can be a hybrid. Well, it's working as a hybrid. I didn't set it up as a hybrid, but I set up the priority output. Priority output: solar, utility, and battery. Okay, so these 2 units are working together, and I can show you that on the actual software of these units. Okay, so my pool equipment is running. I have 2 pool pumps running with solar power right now, and it's great. I mean, it's cleaning and it's just doing great. Because I'm not able to run my pool pumps 24/7, then I put a second one. So now I'm running 2 pool pumps, but I'm only running them during daylight when we have the sun out. Okay, even if it's cloudy, I can still do it as long as I get my batteries to 100%. And I can tell you guys this much: my batteries get to 100% real early in the morning, and I don't care if it's a cloudy day or if it's raining. And then, like if it's sunny, probably by around 7 or after a little bit after 7 in the morning, and in some cases even before 7, I'm already up to 100%. But if it's cloudy, it might take until 9 or 10 to get to 100%. Then I come down and turn on my pool equipment. And let me show you guys on the software how it looks. How does it look? Hold on. Okay, see the software here is showing this is the grid, okay? This is my other inverter providing power to the load and to the battery. And these are the solar panels providing power to the load and to the batteries too. So my batteries right now, actually they're giving power out according to this. But look at the voltage. The battery voltage is 57.4. So, I mean, we have plenty of power. A maximum charging that I have is 58.8. And then the batteries can go to a float. I put my float at 55.2. If I go with the manufacturer, it's supposed to be 54.5. So I put it a little bit higher, 55.2. I have too many batteries, and I like to keep them fully charged all the time if it's possible. That way at night, I'm able to use my power. And I have a lot of air conditioning units that I can run and everything. The only thing is right now, the way that the setup is working, I have to split my loads in order to keep using these inverters. Because I've tried to use them in parallel, they reboot too many times. They give me code 60 too often, code 80 too often. So they're rebooting and I'm losing power. I mean, too often, too many times, even at night. And also at night, they show like when they're in parallel, they show that like they're giving power back to the solar panels. And they're not stable at all. You know, it's just too many problems. So that's why I have to rewire them this way. All my communication cables are not connected, as I mentioned to you guys. I can show you where the communication cables are because they're not connected at all. Right now, I'm running them as individual inverters. So it's 3 individual inverters connected to the grid. That's the way they're working right now. And the ones that are not on, they're just in charging mode, because each one of these units is providing a decent amount of power, at least 1, 2, or 3 kilowatts. My pool right now is using not much. It's probably using about 3 kilowatts. The house is probably using about 2 to 3 kilowatts. And right now it's not hot yet. But when we start using the air conditionings, of course, our power consumption is going to go up. The good thing about it is we're using some air conditionings that we're able to lower the consumption to 30%. So if the consumption of an air conditioning is, let's say, it's a 12,000 BTU unit is using, let's say 1,200 watts, we can lower that to 400 watts or less, more or less like around 400, okay? So that's great. That's great to be able to use 30% consumption instead of 100%. And you still get great air conditioning. The heater also works with the air conditioning. It's integrated. And all that, we can control it with Wi-Fi, by the way. We can control it with our phone because we can control it with the application. That is just great. Anyway, I'll show you where the communication cables are, but like I said, they're not being used at all. As I mentioned to you guys, I remove all these communication cables. Of course, I'm going to keep them because I'm trying to get a fix. I'm trying to get a fix from the seller to be able to use all my units together and have 36,000 watts of power. Right now, I'm only able to use from 6 to 12, because when the inverter is acting as the grid, it's helping the other inverter. So they're working together, not as in parallel. They're just working together. One is the power source, and the other one is acting as the grid. Okay, and I tried them all. So many ways in parallel. They don't work. They don't work. I put 4 units together. I put 3 units together. I put 6 units together, and I put 2 units together. You name it, I did it. And these things, they just don't work. The seller is gonna send me some capacitors to try to connect to the inputs of the solar panels, and see if that helps with some interference or whatever, But it's just too many headaches, because it restarts everything. It restarts my router. It restarts all my security cameras. It restarts everything. Security cameras, smart devices, then computers. Everything has to restart, and it's doing it too often. Like every 5 or 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes during the day. And at night, it's probably doing it 2 or 3 times during the night. It's just crazy. In parallel, these units are not able to work properly. And let's go back to the inverters. And today was a cloudy day, but then the sun came out, and listen to the inverters. Right now, the fans are going crazy right now. They're gonna think about it. They're not in the house, they're outside. They're in a garage here that I put a hardy backer on the back, to put them. I'm still missing a piece of hardy backer here on this side. Okay. By the way, all this is temporary wiring. I'm gonna be changing all this wiring and organizing everything properly. But I haven't done this because we're not able to get these units to work properly. So I don't know how the final wiring is gonna be. By the way, each unit, we put a breaker for the power, and we put a breaker for the solar panels. So you can see here, every single unit has that. We put a breaker there. It's a 300 amp breaker. And then we have the breakers for the solar panels too. Here, you see that? Every single unit has that. And this one, I don't have it down there because I don't have the hardy backer yet, so I have it on this side. And these breakers are for these last 2 units here. And batteries, we have plenty of batteries, plenty of batteries here. Our battery bank has got a lot of batteries. And they're all the SBS 190F. They're big batteries, and that's probably the best that you can get. Then we also have some SBS 170. All these batteries are here, and we have more coming in. We already have the rack ready for the additional batteries. Okay, but this unit can keep me off grid 24/7, and I can run heavy loads. I can run compressors. I can run welders. I can run pool equipment. I can run microwaves, washers, dryers, you name it. And all my smart devices, routers, access points. Everything is running off grid. And I'm not just running, like I was telling you, I'm not just running one pool pump. I'm running 2 pool pumps. I'm running, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 3 microwaves and 1 microwave combo. So that means it's a microwave with an electric oven. That's another one that I'm running too. And we're running, let me see, refrigerators is 1, 2, 3, 4 refrigerators. 4 refrigerators that we're running. And we're also running, let me see what else we're running in this property. We're running several 12,000 BTU air conditionings. Okay, so far, let me see how many I have installed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. 8 air conditioning units that we're running. Okay, I'm probably gonna be putting an air conditioning unit here in this garage, because when it gets hot here in Southern California, in Fontana, in the Inland Empire, it gets real hot. And I'm probably gonna put an air conditioning unit here and set it up at a good temperature to keep my inverters at a good temperature. So, well, that's what I wanted to show you guys. We're off grid. We're off grid, okay? We haven't connected to power for months, several months, okay? And we're not planning to. We can be off grid using, like I said, welders, compressors, air compressors, I mean, you name it, all kinds of stuff. And it's great. It's great. I mean, it does get expensive because each one of these units they cost a little bit of money, and then those batteries, each one of those batteries is expensive too, and that's just almost half of the battery because we still have to fill up all these shells here on the right, and then we have more batteries here on the floor. Okay, so all this is gonna go over there on that shelf. That way, we can clean up everything and rewire everything properly, make it look nice. But right now, everything's got temporary wiring because we didn't know how the final setup was going to be, because we received the inverters recently and we started having too many problems with them. So we said, wait a minute, let's not do the final wiring, because what if you had to rewire everything? So that's what we did. We just put temporary wiring. See here, this one here this is the input to the house, and we had this breaker box here that actually sends the power to the house. We had an outlet here for a welder, but I removed that, and because when I split the units working individually, then I connected, oh, my apologies here. This one here is actually the one for the pool equipment. You see this? This is for the pool equipment. This one here is actually for the house. This one is going to the house. It's going through that box. And this one here is to monitor the power usage. I'm not monitoring the power usage to the pool, but the machine can do it. And I also have some son-off devices on each one of the pumps to monitor the usage. This one here, as I mentioned, is a temporary connection, so it's just for the pool equipment to run. So I put this breaker box together, and I connected some outlets. This one here, this one, these are 120s, and this one here is 220. You can see the big cable there, and here's another 220. This one I use it for my welder. This one goes to my pool equipment. Okay. Anyway, guys, a lot of people think that when you go off grid, you're gonna be suffering, and you're gonna sacrifice, and not gonna be able to do things, not able to use your lights and this and that. Well, we're able to use lights day and night. We don't use the big equipment at night, but we have exterior lights working at this property with a timer, so they turn on at night and they turn off in the morning. Like I said, they're connected to smart switches, so they have a schedule. We didn't stop that. Our lights have to be working all the time in the yard, and we have cameras working 24/7. We probably have over 50 cameras in this property working. We have an NVR with 32 cameras, and then we have separate additional cameras working all over the place. You can see one camera there, and if you take a look on this side, there's another camera up there. There are cameras all over, and we're probably gonna be adding more. This place is probably gonna have over 100 cameras working. I'm sure it's getting close right now because at 32, and then we have additional this little wireless cameras, all over the place. But anyway, this is how it's working. So don't think you're gonna sacrifice when you go off grid. Of course, you're gonna sacrifice if you don't have enough batteries, or if you don't have enough inverter power. And that's what I was having issues with this before, because when this inverter is not working properly, I was using just my little 5,000 watt inverter, and that was just the power source that I had. So I was not able to use microwaves. I was not able to use my pool equipment. So I had to split the load with some older inverters. By the way, this is one of them. That one there was helping me. This inverter here, okay, was helping me. And I can show you some other inverters that were helping me. By the way, this one works with 48 volts, and it gives you 120, 240. All the inverters that I'm using right now, like the ones here for the parallel, they give you 120, 240 on the voltage, okay? and they're supposed to be 6,000 watts each. So I'm supposed to have 36,000. I'm not able to, not the way they're working. I'm only able to get 6, and it's a backup. I might be able to get 12, but I don't get to that. I'm splitting my load, so my voltage, my wattage is not getting, it's not going to get to that yet. Not yet. Not until we fix the problem. And let me show you my other backups here. Okay? My other backups, it's just funny the way I had everything set up. So let me pause the video and show you. This one here is a 5,000 watt inverter from Harbor Freight. I think it's the Jupiter. Yeah, Jupiter from Harbor Freight. This one only provides 120. You don't get 240 voltage out of this unit. So I use this unit with like about 12 batteries. Those black batteries are not working. Those that were connected to that little inverter, I'm not even using that. But those 12 batteries there are connected to this inverter here, and they're connected to a small portion of solar panels, and also they're connected to these small little chargers. Okay, so these batteries, they're fully charged 24/7. During the day, they're being charged by the solar panels and my small little chargers here, and at night they still being charging by the small little chargers here. Okay, all this is going to go into our shelves that we have in there. Okay, but yeah, this is one of my inverters. Like I said, that was helping me. I use this for the washer and dryer. By the way, we have 2 washers and 2 dryers in this property. Okay, and let me show you the main inverter that was helping us for several months to be off grid. One of them was this one. Okay, this one was for the washer and dryer, and I'll show you the other one right now. This little Chinese inverter, most of the people will say, oh no, it's no good, it's terrible quality, blah blah blah. Even the guy that sold it to me, he has several of them that were burned, and they were all burned. And when I went back and asked for another one, because he sold it to me, and it was kind of like a used inverter, because he didn't give me no instructions or anything like that. Anyway, I had this inverter sitting for years, Then I decided to start using it, and that's when we went off grid. And it's been working for several months, even with my big inverters that I have in the other section. They're supposed to be working in parallel. They were messing up. This unit was keeping the power on 24/7 for several months. It's just great. At the beginning, I only had it connected to some charge controllers. As you can see right now, this charge controller now is supposed to be working 12 volts. It's a 14.5, and they're washing and drying right now, whatever they're doing. But it's got plenty of power. It's a 14.5. This one actually is charging my 48 bank, and all the other ones are off. I'm not using them right now. I'm not charging with those, because when I receive my inverters to work in parallel, those, they have higher voltages and higher wattages that I can work with. So I retire this charge controllers. I still have one working and another one here. And this one, like I said, is working for the 12 volt system. This one works great. For the 12 volt system, the day can be so cloudy, raining or whatever, I'm still gonna have full power, 14.5. It's just great. And like I said, everything was in just temporary wiring and everything. Everything's gonna be moved. This inverter, I'm probably gonna put it in there too, and put it in a section there to keep it as a backup. But now, I don't know. I have 3 systems over there of 6K each, with a grid of another 6K. So that's like kind of like 12, 12, 12, to be 36,000 watts. And to have another backup, I don't know if it's gonna be overkill. And I also have the other one for the washer machine. That's another backup. So we have plenty of backups. And so these are the batteries. These are the batteries that are gonna go on those shelves. Okay, see that? Those are the batteries that are gonna go on those shelves. But this is, like I said, this is all temporary setups. I'll show you guys when I finish. But for now, everything's working properly. Let me show you that pool pump that we put. It's just a temporary one during the time that we're cleaning the pool and getting it better. Let me go back to that and show you. Okay, this pool pump here, sorry I moved my wiring here, you know. It's working with solar power. It's working with solar power. We started this pump, you know, let's say some cases 7 something, 8 in the morning or 10 in the morning. And then we run it all until like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. Depends how the weather is. But normally it stays running until 6. Okay. And this one, I purchased this used because we have the actual pool equipment. And I'll show you guys right now. I mean, you can probably see here one of the jets where the water is coming out. I don't know if you're able to see it on the camera up here. But anyway, you can see the jet there, the water coming out. But I'll show you. Okay, I retired my old pump. I went and purchased this pump. It's only 1.5 horsepower. And it's doing great. And also working with solar power. And the same as the other one. You know, it's working from like 8 in the morning until 5. In some cases from 10 in the morning until 5, you know. By the way, we have a schedule for these pumps. But when the days are kind of cloudy, I do it manually. I stop my schedule and I do it manually. I turn it on, well, not manually. I turn it on with from my phone, you know, things like that, you know. I don't do it manually.